my my final activities before stream time include coffee. I just took my first big sip. Oh man. Oh man. Hi everyone. VTuber. I'm a VTuber. Hi. I'm a VTuber. What? That'd be so funny. I bet there's someone out there who hasn't seen my model yet, and I always like to switch back and forth between them because, you know, reasons. I like this one when I'm looking at stuff. What's that? Wait, what was that? What visuals am I seeing over here? You. It's you. It's you. It's you who's doing it. How's everyone doing, though? I'm reading chat now. Say hey. Oh, that's dirty. Well, let me snooze you. Oh, so Cosmary says I'm hysterical. I'm currently reading ArtFight's update as he started this. Yeah, I loaded up into ArtFight today, and then lo and behold, there is a new update. And I'm surprised, because wasn't the previous announcement, like... Wasn't it maintenance up until the 12th? Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I misread. All of a sudden, day after, everything's fine, site's functional, hardly a thing, hardly a bleep. New update, and I'm like, what? What? And hello to Shiny Bendy, Moonlight IRL, hello, hello. We got Orchid Moonbeam, hi! What people organizing their bookmarks? Yeah, everyone, tell me, if you're in the ArtFight mood right now, are you doing something currently? What's your thing? I know today I'm gonna be doing some reading. I'm telling you, this is my first look at it. I mean, I skimmed it. I got like I'm like, oh man, words. I gotta brain process this. But I was like, wait, why don't I just brain process it with everyone here? Then we can ask each other questions and be like, what the heck's going on? Because, you know, I don't know if anyone stumbled into my ArtFight update videos, but I'm trying to process. It gotta get filtered through somehow, and it's literally one day after it, so. How do you have subtitles? How do you have subtitles? That, I have it's OBS plugin. Little OBS plugin. In fact, let me go, recenter myself real quick. Freeze frame. I probably, oh, there we go. Yeah, I got something, it translates, and I think it's nice. Definitely on Twitch. I know on YouTube, sometimes it does it. Twitch, it doesn't do it at all. So it's great for them. So I'm multi-streaming right now. You could probably tell what the chat, you know, looking as it does. Lori Play, Katie says, just started reading, had lots of bugs, so I think most are fixed now. Oh, that's gonna be great. We're gonna catch the aftermath. We're not like catching live reaction, update, just dropped, problems galore. Everything will get sorted out. Now we're going to see the aftermath, and there's probably going to be more aftermath after this stream, which is a fun thought. But we got first time chat too from Blue Atlas. Welcome, welcome. Scar the Unkillable. Hello. And we need to go over the rule changes again. Yeah, that's one I always like to be informed. As someone who talks about ArtFight, it's probably a good idea for me to know what the rule update is. It's probably good for me to be like, yeah, I know about that. 2023, 2024 ArtFight, 2025 ArtFight, completely different from this year, even in our minor little ways. You know, just a bunch of ref sheets is what you're working on currently. Moonlight says, I've uploaded another character. I'm planning to make a character tomorrow to also add to ArtFight. That's so good. You guys are doing it. I have some I need to upload myself. I have some references, only some icons I want to add in. I have profile things I want to work on. But right now, my current, yeah, just to start stream, we'll get our little chattings and updates, and then we'll get into it. But yes, I will be doing stream marathon energies in like 13 days, I think it was. 24th? I don't know. I have a little counter on my website, but sheesh, you're going to see a lot more of me. I've just been doing once a week right now, and I'm like, okay, time to prepare. Get all the videos out of my system pretty much as I can, and then, you know, we'll see how that goes. But, you know, streamer life. Hello to Lusika. Hello. We have Siddar Paul Animations. Sidar? Words. I'm busy drawing my attacks early so I don't burn out in July. Wait, Satyr! No! Wait! Satyr pause animations! No! Satyr pause animations, no! Speaking of rules, no early sketching attacks, no early making attacks. Those will not be allowed. X mark. Starts crying. Yeah. You have to make them during the event, no worries. Yes, even if you're not posted, if you submit during the event and you had worked on them prior to that, it's a no-no. That's the rules. It's the rules. And hello to iTrickle2s. How are you? How's it going? Yeah, there's no ruleness when it comes to following the rules. Haha. Said the was it? There's like a D&D class for us. It's lawful good. We're just rule followers. Like this is the instance. Rule following really good. Really cool. Really you know, to bring back terms. Poggers. I'm so chaotic with my art because I have one piece of art, and for my old OC that I made an animation. Wait, let me read this again. I'm so chaotic with my art because I have one piece of art of my old OC, and then I made an animation for my new. So just kind of like jumping between different projects. It's like I kind of feel that way. Today was I finished an art piece today. I can't show it yet. I did that this morning. I got up at 4 a.m. What am I doing? I'm having a good time with it though. Wake up at 4 a.m. Starts doing stuff at 5 a.m. Did some final video edits. I was like, oh, just today I saw the update on ArtFight. And I was like, what? And then I was like, okay, makes thumbnail. Here we are. Ariane Evangelia. Ariane, hi, I'm on time. Yes. You really watch streams? Yes, you are. I only stream again once a week currently, but I'll be doing a lot more from the 24th onwards. So notifications and follows, everyone. Thank you. No. Moonlight says I uploaded my characters before the art fight, so I would already have my characters ready for July. Yeah, that's always a nice thing to have. Like you're not like scrambling. You just focus on the attacks. But of course, if you come into ArtFight later on during July, that's completely fine too. Oh, you were watching a movie? What movie were you watching for Crimson Fox? Lori says, I spent the last 2 days helping my friend set up his little PNG tuber. Yeah, I was trying to, what would you call it? I was opening up ArtFight on the day it was closed, and I was like, damn it. Because I knew it was coming, but I was impacted in a way. I did want to open ArtFight, and I was like, I guess I'm not doing it today, even though I knew. Surprised you could get banned for that. Yeah. All the pats. This is great news. The reason why it's great to share this information, and it's totally fine in this moment, because hey, it's early. It's not July, so you don't even gotta worry about it. You just did some cool art right there. Okay. Now, ad starting soon. There's gonna be ad starting on Twitch pretty soon. I'm gonna have a sip of this coffee here. I'm gonna drink that, and then we'll check it out. Oh, play from Discord, I'm freaking out. This is part of why I wanted to stream it, because y'all could tell me what you think too. This is, again, reaction number 1, and then I'm like, ugh. get it in my brain. See what's happening. Okay. Especially HTML. I feel like that's like more of an experimental one. Like, I have done HTML. I have done CSS stuff. I have made a website. I have done website projects, but I always had to refresh myself. Even though I know it's so basic, but it's like, oh, I haven't done that in so long. It hasn't been that long. Only like last year or something. Hello to Mr. Empty the Undead. Hello. I'm gonna open up the page now, okay, everyone? Ooh, and here we go. I'm listening to some lo-fi right now. It's only on my end, so if anyone wants to put on some chill whatever music on the second tab, if you're a PC or whatever, second device, you're like, I want some tunes. Right now we're going musicless, but I'm a perpetual lo-fi enjoyer. The ad did just start for Twitch though, so we will hold on this page. In fact, it's been getting warmer, and soon enough I'm gonna have to get an AC in my room here, because I am gonna be in my time zone, I'm gonna be a daytime streamer. It's currently 1 p.m. right now. I would love to know what everyone's time zones are. 1 second. Also, my cat's here. Hello, kitty cat. Kitty cat? Cat of kitty cat? Yes! Yes, you can meow. You are a very good meower. Close this door. Oh, it's 7:38. 7:13. I know how to read. I know about those numbers. Yeah. Alright. Ariane says, they had to do a bunch of urgent fixes for the HTML transfer, but nothing major seems to have broken. That's good. The HTML update made me nervous at first, but I'm fine about it now. Yeah, that'd be kind of crazy, like a whole different system, and all of a sudden it's like, ArtFight, the website explodes, it's gone. I don't even want to think about it. No. Okay. Hello, everyone on Twitch. We're doing a little time zone drop just for funsies, and anyone rolling in, go ahead and update what you're up to. My streams in general are always going to be like open space for sharing. You could just drop your ArtFight username. I don't care. It doesn't matter if relevancy. It's ArtFight. If you're trying to find people, find each other, you're like, hey, you watched a Phoenix Master. We've interacted live right now in this moment, and you followed me from here. What a fun way to find each other. You can always do that. I may not always catch them, but I know I do streams where I like go over people's profiles and stuff. But just know, username sharing and caring is all welcome here. And just no links. Just only usernames. Okay. I'm going to be doing reading, and I'll be rereading sentences as I try to process it in my brain. And you saw the thumbnail if you're on YouTube. I am sleepy. So. One final step. Yeah, Discord's another one. For just finding people. This is underrated way to find people on ArtFight. Find people on ArtFight through live streams. Woohoo. Okay. So we got the main news post, HTML tagging, and it was updated just 11 hours ago from May 9th. And let's enhance. Enhance. Surely people can read that. We have successfully migrated from BBC Code to a new HTML-based editor. Appreciate your patience during this maintenance period. It was very short. The maintenance period was very short. It was one of ArtFight's biggest updates in terms of sheer man hours, so it took a long time. And, well, it seems like there was a lot of bugs, but it didn't, like, break anything you guys are mentioning. On the surface, this change will not affect most users' ArtFight experience. However, HTML is much more versatile than our old system and can be utilized in intuitive and modern ways to customize all text-based elements on the site. So, text-based. Oh, wait, I'm curious. This makes me want to go, imagine I opened up like a forum or something, and if you guys have experimented with HTML, or I guess I could, maybe at the end of this, if you've used HTML, if you got to jump on this and you're using it, and you got a little demonstration, I heard something about Toy House. I think that would be fun to look at. Yeah, so we'll keep that in mind if anyone is jumping on that right now. It's been a much needed change. For those interested in making customized themes, we have prepared an HTML guide. I have that here. Ha! I'm ready! I'm so ready! I skimmed the little links and I clicked them. Look at this guide. Oh my gosh. That lists all available HTML elements, attributes, CSS properties, and classes. You can learn more there. That's what the thing jumped to. This editor is the same one that Toy House uses. Who in chat uses Toy House? I for last year, I was like on the fence. Well, not on the... Well, yeah, I was on the fence. I was on the fence of where I should host my OCs. And I was split between using Toy House, but then I ended up going with Unveil. I've been loving Unveil, but I think that'd be fun to know. Why don't I set up a really really quick poll. Just for fun, okay? I love it. I love the stuffs. We're gonna do one of these. Where do you keep your OCs? And we're gonna do Unveil, cause I love Unveil. Toy House. And then only ArtFight. A mix. I mean, there's like Character Hub. Character Hub. And then or well, I don't know, what's the last one? Character Hub? Or Other? Maybe just Other. Other. There we go. I'm biased. I'll do my top picks and everything else can be. Thank you for the follow as well. Okay. Many should be familiar with it. That was on YouTube as well. For time's sake, I'll do that. If there's a moderator on Twitch right now, you can set up that poll too. If not, we'll skip on it. This also means that codes made for Toy House should generally translate to ArtFight. However, do note that ArtFight's whitelisting is stricter than Toy House's, which means some elaborate codes may break. So there's some complexity that cannot... There's a bridge. There could be like a little stress test. Like, how crazy can you go with HTML? What's the craziest thing you can do before it starts breaking? If you're planning on using code from Toy House, please ask if the author of the code allows off-site usage. Always make sure to credit them. I found this a lot for coding things in general when people make like a little template. It's like, hey, credits. Or sometimes related free use, go crazy, but it's always nice to know where you sourced your code from. It's a very polite and good thing to do. Spoiler element update. The spoiler element is now full width and has a distinct background. I was wondering about this. This change was primarily made for ease of editing spoiler content in the new editor. I think this is one I'd want to like test out. We understand some users may prefer the look of the old spoiler element, so we've gathered feedback on how the design could be improved for an optimal balance of usability and aesthetic. Please let us know what you think in the comments. So it's a little feedback thing. Has anyone been impacted by the spoilers? Oh, Ref Spicy! Hello! Oh, how do you word it? Oh, I did it, I did Unveil first, Toy House, ArtFight only, and then the final one just said, Other. In all caps, don't I? You don't get that precise. It was purely for the funsies, you know? Keep my OCs in both ArtFight and permanently in my brain. Yeah, like the peak storage system, it's just your brain. They're just in your brain. Artsy Jody says, I used Toy House, but then found ArtFight pretty quickly after. Never really went back to, yeah, that was the one thing. Like when I was like deciding between the two, Toy House was great because there's so much possibility for how you arrange, you know, your profile, which, you know, should appeal to me as a profile customization enjoyer. But when you're actually using it, you know, sometimes you're too spread thin and you just want simplicity. You just want to make the art, put the characters in the page and be done with it. So in some cases, simplicity is just really nice. And if the most simple thing to do is like ArtFight only, then hey, you got your thing, it works. You know? I think the only downside is people would have to have an account if they're only looking at ArtFight. Like, you know, like, hey, my OCs are on this page. You have to have an account. Which could be a pro. Could be a pro. Hello to Josie Bloom. Welcome. Okay. In the meantime, if you're comfortable with manually editing HTML, you can emulate the look of an old spoiler element. So it just gives a little snippet here for how you can do that. An example. Oh yes, my beloved div classes. You know what I think about this? For anyone who has done any coding at all, I just remember my education of learning how you could just go div, 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 and it's just a layer of divs and divs and divs, and it's like, this is not, what's the word? The semantics are not there. You could do better. If that's you'd only know what I'm talking about, but it's basically just nesting divs over and over. Chaos, you know? Alternatively, you can still use the old spoiler element like so, but it isn't available in the toolbar. Okay. That's like whatever. I feel like code heavy stuff is, you just gotta try it out yourself and see what the heck they're talking about. Lori Play says, my sister is so scared of Toy House. But it's so similar to ArtFight, just a little more advanced. Plus now it's even more similar, right? It's even more similar. There's people who, wasn't it like, it's transferable, right? They were literally saying that earlier. Our current so this is for future updates next. Our current priority is implementing the new filter system once the feedback period is over. So right now, you could go on this page right now. Why don't I do that? You could go here, send feedback if you've actually been testing out these updates. And then, hey, you know, there you go. Artsy Jody says, my Toy House actually helped me make my websites and learning a lot to love div. Yeah, I think that's the nicest thing. When you have like a specific project and you learn very specific basic things, you know, it's what you call, it's a gateway. It's a gateway into making your own website. Haha, you know the essentials. Now you gotta make a website. Go make a card. Dun 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 dun. Okay. So, however, depending on how much feedback we receive, there is a possibility that this update will be postponed until ArtFight is over. New filter systems, that's what they're talking about. The HTML and filter updates were two of our largest to date. Because of this, and in the interest of transparency, it is likely we'll not be able to integrate all the features of 2025's Tier 2 before the event begins. Now that was viewable with this link here. What it basically is, was their checklist of everything, like where's the little donation thing? Let me look at that for anyone who hasn't seen it. Where are you? Goes to the bottom of the page. Goes to support. Look at that. Those are all little tiers. And this is like, so this is our 2026 ArtFight goals, but last year people went crazy. They hit all of their tiers pretty much, I think. I kind of forgot, but so yeah, there was a bunch of these that are just like confirmed, locked in, and those were placed in this tracker that you can actually follow along with. So they just kind of have a backlog basically of things that they are working on. They're like, yep, we promised this is happening, but we may have some delays. Spoiler update, future updates. Our next step will be implementing character folders. Where did I just read that? Yeah, here we go. Before ArtFight. Before the fight, but depend largely on team bandwidth. Character folders. That sounds exciting. Like, I know it's not yet, but man, just hearing about the things that I'll get on this site. I'm so excited about premium. Yeah, I mean, I always like, supporting ArtFight's always cool. I'm just especially like, woohoo, CSS access. Woohoo, coding. Woohoo, cool profiles. Love it. I'm really hoping they reach their goals this year. You know, if we're all hyped, they're hyped. More people will find ArtFight. May all their dreams come true. Our dreams come true. I have, where was my... Oh yeah, I think on one of my videos I said one of my dream... Oh yeah, what was the result of the poll? Let me go check that real quick. Can I end poll? Did we go to... Okay, the results on YouTube. Wow, let's go! So 41% used Toy House, 28% used only ArtFight, 16% on Unveil, and the other 15%. So it's pretty much mostly on Toy House. Let's go. And how about view results for Twitch as well? Yeah, majority again on Twitch was Toy House or only ArtFight. It's just the same. That's a fun fact. Fun fact, people love the Toy House. One day I'll be brave enough to update it. Yeah. One day I'll have time enough to like make something cool with Toy House. I'd be a whole dedicated video. I made this. I don't know, how do you make that cool? I made this crazy cool Toy House page, and this is how you can do it too. You know. And it just goes crazy and there's explosions everywhere. Just kidding. Okay, no, this is very exciting though, just folders. Soon enough, it's not yet, but it may be delayed. Okay. In any case, the rest of 2025's tier items will be completed after the fight. Check the progress. Okay. I wish I could have a Toy House account. So scared. These toys got around 50 OCs. I have so many. I had to like put a pause in making OCs. I'm doing this challenge. It's still ongoing. It's just one of my stretched out forever ones. I'm making OCs. There's more. More is being added to the pile. I just had to hit press pause. I'm gonna be making more. You know, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be making more. They're in my brain right now. I have some OCs in my brain. They don't even have a visual. That just happens, especially if you're like if you're a storyteller and you're like, okay, what how do we flesh out this cast meaningfully? And then you're like, all of a sudden, I got all these fictional, no visual characters in my brain. I'm like, hello to you, Voltress. Hi, how are you? Tag system update. So we covered the future updates. So it's basically a delay in, well, character folders. They're working through some of the features. Some may be delayed because of these really big updates with the filtering and with the HTML. That's basically what that was. The tag system update, as mentioned in our December 2025 news post, I think that was the one that mentioned... My first thought was like, 10-year anniversary special. No, I missed it. It's something else. We've begun developing an updated filtering and tagging system. This new system aims to make our filtering guidelines more straightforward and give you tools to customize your viewing experience in ArtFight. I know one was just recently updated regarding, like, you know how you can toggle on and off people's CSS? I think that was just from the last one. So, more of that, I guess? I just saw Lori says, I redesigned an OC from 2015. Several hundreds in my brain. Oh man, I'd have to dig. I could. The thing is, I had to like excavate. I think that's a good word. I had to excavate. I had to dig through this really old laptop I had, and I had all this really old artwork, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's where I started. Oh my gosh, my OCs. You know, most of my OCs, they're mostly Homestuck. My Homestuck and my Steven Universe OCs. I was like, oh, behold their glory. I think I had some miraculous ladybug stuff. Not like fan art. It was a good time. Volter says, I'm doing well. Hope everyone has a happy Mother's. Oh yeah. Everyone who's celebrating, doing something for the day with their fam. Any of that. Wishing you good vibes. Also, good vibes in general. Happy Sunday! Oh my gosh! Okay. We would like to provide a rundown of the proposed changes to you all and collect community feedback. We've made mock-ups of what the changes will look like. So the filtering. Let's open these up. These are like 3 possibilities. So it's just a little layout. How I got tag suggestions. You're suggesting iStream. What's this? Search for tag. Suggested tags. You know, I think I saw this. Someone commented this on one of my videos. Maybe not necessarily regarding like filtering, but just like tags that you can automatically click on for, like, say it's like, oh, this is a feral, this is a humanoid, this is, you know, like basic stuff that would be applicable to all OCs. But like this also would expand to you know, what you do and don't want to see. So this is like another little layout for it, and like this is more familiar to me. But I guess it changed in some way. Maybe, I guess it's these bottom ones down here. Oh, I get it. So this is kind of how it normally sort of looks. But now one of the suggestions was, I'm kind of covering it right now. Oh my god, what's that all about? Now you could just add like a new whole section of this. It's like there's like clown, sensitive content, and just like, okay, add another one to this little thing. Okay, that's cool, that's cool. We could be like, which one do we like the most? And then there was this one. We good? There we go. So this one is like a little, what are those called? Just a little check mark. Need filtering. The one I don't like is this one. Even though it's familiar, I don't like it as much. It's so, So big. It's so big. This one is reminiscent of what you call. I just realized something. I was going to just adjust this. Look at that. You see that little silver is gone. This one just makes me think of normal tags. And this one feels nice. If I was to casually throw my own suggestion amongst everyone, I like this one. Little check marks, pretty good. Let's see. I also agree with the reference one. Oh yeah, we'll probably get along to the rule update. We'll check it out. Lori says, I've been trying to keep all my files and images. Had my old PC die 2 times in the last decade. Yeah, I spent maybe 3 hours digging through my old Facebook. Yeah, there's that. There's like old laptops and there's like old accounts. Sometimes you lose it, you manage to find it, you're like, oh my gosh, let's grab this. So I could have read the wrong, but there's one that mentioned you can't use real life references for your art because of tracing. I'll have to check in soon enough once I see it for myself. Okay. So those were the visuals there for suggested tag filtering. Tagging system. A tagging system will replace our old filtering system for characters and attacks. The tagging system functions similar to the previous filter-based system. Now it allows users to filter content by custom write-in tags, which we did see. Existing tags on characters will be filterable with this change. Tags are now broken up into 2 categories, mandatory and general. So there is general tags. Wait. Mandatory. Must be applied to characters. General edition tags which allow users to tag and filter for specific, subjective, or varied topics that fall beyond the scope of what you're able to moderate. No, it's still filtering related. I'm just wondering, like, hey, tag flowers, tag sunshine, tag rainbows. Okay. What we're able to moderate. This system is an expansion of our current tag system. Non-mandatory tags for individual character images should be added to the character tags, as character images are unable to be tagged at this time. So if you like censor one character, one whole thing, it's just like all of it is, I guess. Not individual images, I believe, if I'm understanding correctly. That's an interesting thought though, because I know on Unveil you can like add tags specific to, like there's like I guess I could show it. Just something I'm thinking about since it came to mind. Like we'll go to my page. You could have like a character. It has like its tags, and then you have all the images, right? For ArtFight, it has like a limit for like 6 or 10 or something like that. And what you could do, I don't think I have it on this one. Yeah, you can just additional tags on each individual image. Which, even if it was just for filtering, that'd be interesting. Tag blocking. You will now be able to block or censor tags you do not wish to see. Yes, makes sense. Blocking a tag will hide the attack or character from you, unless you opt to view it. While censoring will display a filtered thumbnail, which is pretty much what we're used to, but just more customization with that. An expanded customization. For the latter, you'll be told what tag has caused an attack or character to be censored, so you can make an informed decision if you'd want to view it. Pretty good. More options for viewing is always a good time. The tag limit on characters will be increased to allow for accurate filtering. Tag aliasing will also be implemented with this feature. This means tags like, this is what I'm talking about! Like, where's my general... Look at cat! This means that tags like cat, cats, and trigger warning cats would all be blocked together instead of requiring multiple tag submissions. Who would do that? What kind of example is this? You know, I have issues with this ArtFight update. How dare they use cat as an example of something you'd want to block? How dare they? Mandatory cats in everyone's faces. Says the cat lover. Okay. Filtering change. The following tag will replace our current filters and become our new mandatory tags. Okay. Any character and images, well, those blood, bruising, gore, chest nudity, full nudity, suggested themes, eye strain, abuse, suicide-related topics. Any characters and images that are already filtered will automatically have their filters moved to the correct tags. Yeah, so that means to say that if you already have something, you know, censored and it was already from their default ones beyond this expanded one, they're fine. You don't gotta do anything. But if there's triggering ones or anything like that that weren't encompassed within their already existing scope, then you'd want to update it. I'm not a big fan of tags. You know, I've grown to love them over time. You know, speaking of tags, let me tell you about the most important one of them all. Have you heard of... Oh my gosh, wait, could you wait a second. Anyway, have you heard of purple movement, everyone? Raise your hand. Wait, that's our next one. That's our next silly poll. Everyone, do you know about purple movement? I have to know how effective we've been. Yes, no. What are you talking about? New poll. You know. It's important. Yes. No. I am so confused. Okay. Yep, there we go. Yeah, now I was thinking theoretically people could block purple movement. You wouldn't want to do that, just like the cats, but I'll explain after the poll's over once we ended, okay? If you really don't know, don't worry. It's ArtFight related though. It's fine. Okay. I love tags. Body horror and some topics previously filtered as sensitive content will become tags. This change has been made due to how subjective and varied these topics are. Migrating these subjects to write-in tags will allow users to tag more specific kinds of content than what moderators are able to enforce. I think I had this thought too. I had this before. But tags, whether you like them or dislike them, it's a very... I would add that to like a really nice thing to prep, even if not on your behalf, for the behalf of others, since the only thing that's going to make this really effective, you know, is if everyone does their best to like contemplate it and, you know, use tags pretty much so others can be like, no, thank you. So yeah, if you're on the fence, hey, just give it a go. You'll make someone nice and comfy. All of us together. Make each other comfy. Tag system suggestion. Well, tag suggestion system. I read that in a different order. To accompany this change, we will also implement a tag suggestion system for characters and images. If you find content on the site that you believe should have a tag... Oh, speaking of, mandatory or not, you may not... Looks like we could be on the watch out. Dun 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 dun. Cosmary says Fandom Wars was what terrified me. A lot of fandom in my OCs. Oh yeah, I think I briefly skimmed something with that in the comments. We'll probably get around to that. Needless to say, social media fandom's spooky place out there sometimes. I know I was watching some YouTube videos about it. It gets crazy out there. I've personally not in any fandoms right now. I'm just a personal show enjoyer, book enjoyer. But, you know, out there. Wild. Oh my gosh, if you're on Twitter, watch out! Once you have submitted a suggestion, the uploader may approve or deny your suggestion. So it's just a suggestion thing. Both mandatory tags and general tags may be suggested in this way. However, only mandatory tags will be enforced by moderators. If a user denies your mandatory tag suggestion, you may report it. Deny general tag suggestions will not be handled by staff. You just have like another system, basically. Someone checking. It's like, hey, is that reasonable? Is that not reasonable? And it's like, it's fine. Misuse of this system for harassment is a reportable offense. So like, it just backfires like, hey, if you're trying to... And will be strictly enforced by moderators. So this will be a year where we'll see how this works, basically. And we're on a Twitch ad right now. So let me take like a little hydration, a little stretch for about a moment. And I gotta replay my my lo-fi too. I gotta get some lo-fi over here for me. Da 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 da. Play lo-fi, play. I beg of you. I beg. Okay, so I got some water. And now I get a stretch. Oh yes, that lo-fi's back. Old art regret. Oh man, yeah. Looking back, your old artwork is weird and you've improved. Again, I'm just thinking about that myself. It's been a journey, you know, which is why ArtFight as a means of practice, as a means of just, hey, just do whatever. Like that sentiment. Honestly, I need to take that advice for myself. I mean, everyone has their different goals, but just go crazy. Especially if you're like learning art, you're still improving, you're still seeing how far it goes. You're like, oh man. I know over the past years I was mostly consistent. I don't know what I'm gonna do this year. I'm trying to liberate myself. All right, ad should be ending 2, 1. Welcome back, everyone. I was talking about what was I talking about? Talking about ArtFight. Oh, the poll just ended too. So, most people on Twitch knows what purple movement is. And what about on YouTube? We're going to do end poll. Poll? Poll results, where are you? Wait, where'd the poll go? Oh, there it is. I was like, why aren't you working? Okay. What are you talking about? No. Yes. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's kind of split on YouTube. Okay. Everyone, if you know what I should zoom in. If you know about purple movement, you get a purple star right now. You get purple hearts. Wait, can I send purple hearts? Yeah, I'm going to do that. These are for you if you know about it. And if you don't know, I'm about to educate you. No, it's silly. It's really silly. I'll literally go to an example. Okay, so we're going to go to my page. We're going to go to my character. I really got to fix this, by the way. The readability is horrendous. But, okay. We go here. Are you seeing this? You see the tags? Right in the corner over there? You see purple movement? You seeing that? Okay. Purple movement is a tag you can use on any OC you have that has the color purple on it. Any OC at all, purple. Hello, thank you for the follow. And you know why? You know why we do this? It's because we're honoring the color purple. Purple is a great color. The people must support this cause. And we must unite. And did you know that if you search purple movement, you'll know that all of these OCs have in some way come to be, well, tagged because of this community here. So maybe they watch this channel. Or maybe they just have been... the movement has spread beyond containment. You will know. This is an inside joke, basically. And you could be in on it. You just need a color. You just need an OC with some purple. A little bit. You can have a fingernail of purple. A strand of hair of purple. And then you can be a part of the movement. Yeah. This is a very important cause. I've done this for like 2 years now. It's going to be year 3. I think this is going to be year... So we're still... This is... We've been going... That's why there's so many tags. That's why this I'm committed. I'm not stopping. This is it. This is it. You could just go to this. You could go find Shiny Hunter Kai right here. You see that? You see a username? They have the purple movement, you know? They know of this community in to some capacity. You could be like, hi, purple movement in their character comments. It will be our inside joke. It will be our connecting force. Okay, detour over. I mandatory inside joke. you're in the community if you're in the purple movement. Just kidding. Everyone's in the community here. Still, big silly. Just a big silly. Back to rules. Well, back to the update. So, mandatory changes, suggestions. I'm finding where I was. Yes, okay, so you can suggest people for tagging their stuff, and then there can be mods involved to have a second opinion for both ways. You know, one of those. So right here. I'm really feeling that coffee now, so this is good news. Updated filtering guides for our mandatory tags will accompany the release of the tagging system. Wait a second. Patui! Wait a second. Sorry, I just saw your username. Everyone, I'm sorry to spotlight you like this. I'm sorry to spotlight you, but did you know that... Did you know that this is going to be Patui's first art fight? And did you know that you could... you could... It's the same username. You could make their day. Their first art fight. Or a stream or two. They do cool art. It's great. Following the release... Oh my gosh, wait a second. No, we won't get on that. Following the release, we will provide a grace period for all characters and images to be brought into compliance with this new system. We hope this update will make our filtering status much more clear and give the community further options to customize their browsing experience. I think more room for customization is always a good thing, so I'm hopeful. Well, I'm curious to see how all of these updates, well, not just this one, literally everything, how it's going to come into play by the time ArtFight happens. I know there's probably going to be some more updates before then too, so, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Every year's a little bit different. Okay. For patients, if you have any... Okay, so this is one. If you have any recommendations, concerns, suggestions, you can make yourself heard on this form. So... why don't we do this? Feedback form. We would do that. You know, what do you think about this update? Have you seen this? Have you seen this update yet? Are you live reacting with me too? Either way, you could just rate this and tell ArtFight. This is only one day after the update. Your opinion matters. So rules update. As ArtFight has grown and evolved, our rules have also changed to fit the needs of our staff and user base. Over time, this has led to our rules page becoming long, text-heavy, and overall difficult to read. Yes, blocks of text. This is kind of also why I wanted to read this rules update. Sometimes it's just reading, you want to just hear it, you want to read it out loud. Additionally, many rules were vague, leading to staff interpretations that were not immediately evident to users. In order to make our rules more accessible and transparent to users, we've overhauled them and their formatting. These changes include reorganizing the rules to flow better. Okay, I can't wait to read them. This is basically hyping up the rules page out here. I'm like, oh my god. Rewording the rules for clarity, altering the way the rules are numbered, and adding new rules when necessary. Even though the page now looks very different. I want to know. I can know right now if I want. I want to know though. I want to know. Adding new rules when necessary. The majority of rules are the exact same and will continue to be enforced the same way they were before. Following rules have changed, so these ones are completely different. This is the new stuff that will be important to note for 2026 at least. ArtFight 2026. Who knows what will happen? Whoa. Most DNIs, do not interacts, are now permitted on the site. The only do not interacts we will continue to remove are the ones that violate other rules. So callouts, harassment of other users. That said, we will also not be enforcing DNIs for users. So it's like you can have them, but they're not going to enforce them on your behalf, pretty much. If someone violates your do not interact, please block them. So it's like, you can have it, you can say it. Just use that block button, pretty much. If you find a user violating the rules or terms of service, please report them. So if it's something within the rules that they've broke, terms of for service, and it's like, yeah, report them, block them. So like kind of like the same thing. Now it's just like you could have that up, is the change it sounds like. Oh no! Oh no! Ariana says, waiting for the do not interact beginner artist. That's not the side of ArtFight I'd be on. That would be a, oh boy. We'll see, we'll see. The next rule change has been, we have clarified our stance on tracing over 3D models from programs like Clip Studio, Paint, and Design Doll. I haven't heard of that second one. Cotton the Bunny says, I think do not interact beginner artists would fall under bullying some kind. Yeah, like suing people is something they can't control. It's not, I think it's kind of like you can, anyone, you don't have to have a specific reason. Well, you could just block people, and blocking is within your right to do, and it's fine. And you can't control when people block you, it's fine, you know, people are controlling their experience and having the best time they can. So I think maybe, you know, if I could see the angle of like, hey, if it's something like attacking based, I could see how it's like, oh man, that makes me a little uncomfortable. Then you just block that person. I don't know if I stand for what this person does not interact with, and just block without making commentary upon it. Maybe it's like that, you know? Just liberal blocks can't control stuff. And Cosmary says, a beginner artist I follow got some less than positive comments last year. Why the rule got implemented, or at least part of it? If people just can't help themselves. Look, on this side, everyone in the purple movement here, you guys, everyone who's chatting here, majority of art fighters, there's gonna be some strangeness at times, but don't let their experience impact yours is the big takeaway. And if you have heard of negativity or less positive feedback towards people's artwork on the basis of something like, you know, skill or whatever, and you know, equal part of a responsibility to share the love when you can, where you can, be the positive impact you can be, you know, for namely the stuff that you interact with specifically, and not to seek out anything that's kind of uncomfy to whatever degree. If someone's doing ArtFight in a way that doesn't align with, you know, you're more like whatever, right? If there's just not an alignment, then, you know, the solution in the end, you know, block. Peace of mind on either side, whether it's something you see that you don't agree with, it's fine. That's part of like the whole tagging, censoring thing. Sometimes it's just like, hey, that is a red flag in my eyes. Red flags vary between people, so if something like that makes you uncomfy from a person, don't let them occupy brain space when you could spend all that energy spreading kindness and good vibes to other areas, you know? Yeah, that's another whole thing too. If you how to be a pro, at least a first year artist supporter. If you've been doing ArtFight in general, how can you spread the love in a beyond comments? I think there's like discover. You could go to like browse and search. I think it'd be users. Was that username? Let me try to find it. There's a way you can organize this. Random characters, members. This one here. Order by teams. I swear, join date. Yeah, you could like sort by join date potentially. I don't know, there's maybe that one. Total attacks. Another one would be like, I don't know, it depends on, I don't know. Right now people are really making new accounts, but I think total like defenses, or was it attacks made? You can like pay attention to people's ratios, and if people have not received a lot of attacks their way, and they've been doing a lot, you could find people from that if you just check that out. So that's like another little signal. It's like, hey, this person, not with an expectation that they'll attack you, but just like, hey, they can probably use some art. You know, you would just find people who just say in their bios, like, hey, first year or something. You know, it's always the job of people to, like, to carry forth that spirit of ArtFight. It's like, hey, their person's first year. Same with if you see, you know, don't discriminate obviously based off art skill, as ArtFight is a wholly wholesome thing. You know, that doesn't, it's not for any specific skill of artists, basically. It's for everyone. It's for everyone. So don't make judgments if people who are really beginner artists or something, unless it's there's a basis where you can maybe get some second opinions, you know. But if anyone makes you uncomfortable, then it's like, you know, that block thing. If it truly makes you uncomfy in some way, don't make it be like an attack on a person now. So I think that's kind of the main thing. You know, you can do a lot of things, all that energy that you may dwell upon something of bad actors or whatever. It's like, hey, you don't need that in your life. ArtFight, it can be indeed a truly joyful, happy time. And spreading good vibes to people who, without, you know, again, no discrimination upon art skill. You attack whoever you want, any OC that catches your eye. And you can seek out people depending on whatever criteria you personally want, because it's your choice. Just not to attack people, basically, or put out bad energies. And if so, people have the right to block you, and you don't have a right to say about that. That's their boundaries. That's my stance on that matter. We're gonna have a little sip real quick. Oh, that's another good one too for Lori. Aim for OCs with no or less art too. There could even be ones, I would say even, pay attention to people's profiles if they say they want artwork of a specific characters. Because, you know, even if characters don't have a lot of text, maybe they just have some favorites. They'll be like, no, yeah, please, more. I want more of this character. I think that's valid if a person's like specifically, if you were trying to do that at least. You know, it's like, no. This is literally their favorite OC. And if you were, you know, again, it's your choice in the end, but good times. Thank you for the follow as well. Yes, the hype for ArtFight. Persist year round. The moment ArtFight's over, then we recharge. We recharge all our what you call spoons. And then as the months pass, it'll be ArtFight again. Okay. So we're going to go on... Oh, we didn't talk about this one. 3D models. What do I think about that? I haven't even... Maybe I'll... Okay, we'll put a pin in this. I'm going to read this final one. We'll actually look at the rules page. And then we'll resume with that. Last year... So this is from Cosmere on YouTube. Last year I attacked a character that someone wanted to draw that no one had yet. Oh, yeah, see, that's it right there. They were so happy. It's such a gorgeous revenge. Now, that's like the double one. You see a character they want drawn, and no one's drawn them? Oh my gosh, you know you gotta target that one. Okay. Other rulings have not changed, but the way they're worded and organized to the rules page is now different. The largest of these changes are as follows. Previously, our rules prohibited historical... Wait, did I read this one? I think I skipped this one. Whoopsies. Country humans, country balls, and other personified countries based on real-life regions are already prohibited. However, we now disallow personified countries based off fictional regions, as they still often draw from real-world history and stereotypes. Previously, our rules prohibited historical characters associated with Nazis and other groups affiliated with railroad genocide. This wording has been changed to characters associated with or visually inspired by real-life fascist movements, hate groups, genocide, mass murders, and serial killers. We have never allowed these characters of this kind, and our rules better reflect this. So they just had a change of wording. Clarification on emphasis. You know, ArtFight's always been right upon their... I mean, the rules page has changed, but that was pretty... Where was it? Prohibited? Look at that. None of that there. We have, so never allowed this type on ArtFight, whether they're real or fictional. And we've outlined this in their rules. Other sensitive content guide has always encouraged respectful depictions of other cultures and prohibited culture appropriation. Now included this. According to our terms of service, users must provide accurate information. I wonder if I should just go through the rules themselves. We're almost there, actually. We're almost there. Users must provide accurate information when creating their accounts, including accurate date of birth. This now is explicitly outlined in our rules. We now outline our policies against any sort of AI content more clearly, so greater emphasis on that. This includes AI text, imagery, and more. We have clarified common questions around planning attacks in advance. Polish abuse. Oh, okay. Reclaiming slurs, photo bashing, collaging, what we define as an active account, simple characters, object characters, and using copyright material as a component of your artwork. We have also added clarifications on design ownership and selling when it comes to design made and gifted during ArtFight. We have clarified our stance on filtering different sorts of content in different locations of the site. Many of our other rules have been moved around and rewarded. Please take time to... Yeah, this is what we're doing! We're doing this! Familiarizing ourselves with the rules. At last, we're here. Okay. I'm gonna have me a sip. Whew. Yeah, I was like blazing. Sometimes it's like you're reading about the changes. I almost wish I looked at the rules first. But then again, it's good to know where things have specifically changed so we can reference that. But the formatting is definitely, just from like skimming through, things are a lot more, well, skimmable for after the fact, I would say. Of course, to review it. Ooh, let's heck it go! Hello to BlazePix, how are you? Muzzle Yogurt, Muzzle Yogurt says, I wonder, will they make marketing characters have some real-life connections to countries? Historical. I think this are specific, just anything associated with, you know, problematic times. Oh boy, countries. No skidding around it with fictional countries and stuff like that. This is the feedback here. But we'll just check it out for ourselves. We're gonna go down here. Usually whenever I think about that, I think of like Hetalia. That's like my one reference of what that even is. Back in those Tumblr days with all the big old fandoms out there. I'm so excited for ArtFight. Yes. ArtFight, let's make it go! Okay. The rules overview of all these words. Let's refresh ourselves. ArtFight aims to be a safe place for all users. Comply the rules. Should I read it? Wait, should I read it all? Maybe we should read primaries. And then, how should we go about this? I don't know. What would everyone prefer? I don't know if I should go word for word. Do you prefer that, everyone who's listening on in? Or should we just give this a little overview? ArtFight, truly. I know sometimes just hearing it read can be helpful. You know, if it's new and there's like a big old thing of rules here, maybe it could be helpful. Only read bold text. No, like, I'll read every single word. I'll read every single word. Okay. I'm down to go with that. Let's see. What's their first thing they say? Aims to be a safe place for all users. All user content behavior must comply with our rules and terms of service. We will define content as character images, designs, and descriptions, profile decorations, text, banners, icons, backgrounds, HTML, CSS, attacks, anything else uploaded on the site. Moderate or remove your content or terminate your account at any time if this is found in violation of the rules. What's this? I'd like it to be read because I missed some things last year. If someone wants it to be read, I will literally go that route. This is going to be a stream that you can go through again and process again. Sometimes that is helpful, which is why I ask. Number one, Fosfan, this is my first year doing ARF. I'm so excited. I need my laptop to set my profile. Well, you got this, year one. Big time out here, right as some... I mean, changes are always happening, but it's nice to be up to date about these things. Male chest rules, none of this allowed, or what's going on there. Guess we'll re-clarify that. The rules here. Read everything. Okay. That's what we're doing, everyone. We're confirming. read everything. This is gonna be vlogged, and we're gonna brain process this properly. Tune on in, sit on back. I'm just scared to do ArtFight, but love watching it every year. It's a really good, wholesome time. I just love the community so much. I'm like, even for me, like, here, let me show you something before we tackle this. Like, look at what's happened here of my since 2023. Literally just last year I did 4, 5, 6 I did 6 attacks last year. Look at my battle ratio. This is a great gratitude, obviously, but look at that. And same for like a total, you know, 14 attacks, 11 friendly fires. I do a lot of videos for ArtFight, and I stream a lot for ArtFight, but my goal has always been chilling, hanging out, having a good time, and then doing some art. At least of my past years. I'm gonna play it by ear for this one, for how much I do. But I'm literally just vibing with the community, bringing y'all together, you know? Having just some good vibes. And I feel like I have a blast, even though it's not like I'm a crazy person. I'm not insane. I'm pretty reasonable. Yeah, hello to Coral Stone. Hi. Oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna drink one more time. Yeah. Look at that Blazeplex. I did 130 attacks. I'm like, ah. Okay. Our rules and filters are updated periodically, and the site news posts will be provided when they change. By participating in ArtFight, you agree to abide by the most current version of our rules and filters. If you believe a user may be violating our rules, please file a report. So we're on to general rules. You must be 13 years of age or older to register for and use ArtFight. The birth date you provide must be accurate. Falsifying your age to access age-restricted content is strictly prohibited. Reasonable. Only one active account is allowed per person. I think that was a change, because I think they just said one account. I think this was specified to say one in use. I think it was something like that. I should probably have the second thing for reference too. We're gonna go back to this news post on a second tab. And we're gonna go to the rules update. Where did they place that? Rules. Accurate date of birth, polish, selling, ponce. Maybe I don't know. I wish I had a previous past version. I guess it's probably a snapshot. Who knows? An account may not be shared by multiple people. You may not run an account on behalf of someone else. You may not have multiple accounts assigned to teams during the event. That'd be wacky. Do not attempt to impersonate any site members, especially staff. I have a little comment for this one. This is more of a silly note. I have been seeing, it happened 2 times, so it's only a coincidence at this point. But I have been seeing, namely, I note one account specifically. I got this follow. Someone followed me, and their username was Costco. Has anyone been followed by Costco? And apparently their username used to be Sam's Club. I just think that's fun. And people in the comments of their ArtFight page were just making, I think I checked this out in my last stream where I was looking at CSS profiles at the end. I looked at funny profiles. Yeah, and yeah, it's impersonate any site members, especially staff, but you know, everything else is free game. It's not a site member, it's not a site you can impersonate. It was me. Hateful or discriminatory content behavior is prohibited. This includes, but is not limited to, transphobic or homophobic views, racist or xenophobic views, ableist views, sexist views, use of slurs, even if reclaimed. So I think that would be a big note, because I know it's well within, you know, But within ArtFight specifically, there's like broad, simple ruling to keep it nice and clear and not navigate around that. Just reasonable for a thing that's just a game, you know? We are in an ad currently for Twitch, so we're going to pause real quick. And I'm going to read some comments as well from YouTube. Don't believe so. It's got followed by an MLP person. I'm so honored. My Little Pony. Hell yeah. One and for all reasonable, I'd like to add them against ageism to 4, since the previous rules referenced it, but they removed it for this version. Ooh. How do you, I know I probably could do it. That'd be cool. So cool if I had taken like a screenshot. I know there's probably like I bet the Internet Archive. I bet you could do like a little check-in with that. But that's a find right there. Ageism has been removed from that list. I wonder if they have another feedback thing. I think it was just for the tagging, but that'd be interesting. Ends in 30 seconds. We're almost there. Sip, 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 sip. Anything fun I've been doing. Lots of cooking. Lots of, hike energies. The summer. Oh boy. The winter. Well, not the winter. It's been snowing. Like a random chill that's like freezed some plants. And some didn't make it. It's tragic. Oh man, my poor plants. Welcome back, everyone. Pay no mind to my plants. Pay no mind. Sexually explicit content of any form is prohibited, even if it's cropped or censored. Okay. So, prohibited sexually explicit content includes, but is not limited to, sexual stimulation of any kind, penetration, sexual fluids, and adult toys. Oh man. It always feels wacky reading words out loud. Maybe we'll do like a zoom in. We'll do one of these. You see all this? Yes. Prohibited. Prohibited. Links to external social media that contain 18+ content are allowed only if the site has a proper 18+ filters, and those filters are applied to all mature content. Okay. Fetish mining, which define as soliciting fetish art without the knowledge or consent of the users involved, is strictly prohibited. Fetish art on characters, intentionally suggestive or not, must have suggestive themes filter. Content is illegal if depicted under United States federal law. That depicts illegal... Wait. Content that is illegal to depict, okay, is not allowed in any form on ArtFight, even if cropped or censored. Do not spam or link any potentially malicious or illegal content on this site. Be sane with the site. Be sane. ArtFight does not allow harmful paraphilias to be depicted, discussed, or requested anywhere on the site. You can always look at the screen if I'm pausing. If you're just listening and I do a long pause, note that you can look at the screen. Depictions of characters younger than 18 years old in sexualized situations are not permitted. This includes characters who are physically or psychologically under 18. Depictions of feral or non-anthropomorphized characters in sexualized situations are not permitted, regardless of sapience. All site content must be filtered according to ArtFight's filtering guides. Content requiring any filters may not be displayed in user icons, usernames, character names, or CSS if they cannot be filtered. So, content contains gore, eye strain, nudity. Must contain a spoiler with a content warning if posted. I think the big general note is essentially... if it's safe for work, you're fine, you know? And if you think it's, like, questionable to any degree, you go to review the rules to double check. And I think, so someone had commented regarding, like, the chest. So I want to see where that comes in for, like, male, you know, chest, all that. It's strictly prohibited on profiles and comments. It cannot be placed behind an 18+ filter. Should a character require a maturity filter, all of their images must have the same filters applied. Minors are prohibited from sharing, receiving, or requesting art that contains extreme nudity or suggestive themes. Content that may violate, harm, or threaten the safety or personal rights of anyone is not allowed. So, doxing and disclosing personal information, disrespect, public callouts, do not interact, mentioning specific users, and harassment. This seems like was this either noted from... It was, so I'm looking through like that news post update, so the rules update. So do not interacts, right? And on the rules, so this is the first instance that it showed up. So that may violate, harm, or threaten the safety or personal rights of anyone. Do not interacts mentioning specific users and harassment. So I guess there's like limitations to say that you can't specifically mention users in a list, which that would probably be a reportable thing. Something like that, because it'd be like more in a line with like a call out post, basically. To switch to YouTube, Twitch lagging. Oh no, well, nice that we have options over here. Now I'm concerned about the maturity filter being applied to alt images. I don't even know if that applies to moderate nudity. Oh yeah, that's an important one, because I feel like I agree with that. Like sometimes, I mean, sometimes it's helpful, you know. If you have like one. Wait, does it apply to all? I'm really curious about that too. I'm curious as well. ArtFight does not enforce user do not interacts, so we just resumed. Please block users that may be in violation of your do not interact and report any rule violations. So you can have them, don't call people out within them though, because that would be against it. But you can have them and don't harass people, and don't, if you had something that felt within hateful or discriminatory in some way within that as a note, then obviously it's like, no, that would be just like tread carefully, you know. Essentially. Oh, and hello, thank you for the head pat, thank you. Okay, then we're gonna do ArtFight takes no responsibility for the risks associated with exchanging personal information such as addresses. Minors should consult a parent or guardian for getting personal information. So where does that become relevant? So long as you're not like sharing that, obviously, on your front main page, you're doing it like in DMs. It would be relevant if you receive like a physical attack. And it's like, you can indeed set up something where it's like, hey, I can get this to you. It's just one of those, be cautious. You know, depending on your age, your minor obviously get someone else's input with your responsible adult, all that. But that's the thing that can happen, you know? It's like you could technically just have some deliverings go on, but no responsibility to ArtFight. One of my characters has a heavy amount of scarring, one to show the body ref. Yeah, I think it's like helpful, you know, references to know where that is. But I would be curious if one reference within like a set, you know, if that would put the entire thing. I think they kind of mentioned that though, didn't they, in this update? Let me see where it was. I'm gonna try to find where I'm thinking of for this update. Wasn't it like in future updates, maybe? Tagging system. Because there was something they couldn't do. They couldn't have tags on individual images. Right? Meaning, if you have to have a tag on a character, it would apply to the whole character. So I feel like if you did have a reference that needed it, it would still come up like, it would still have like that spoiler warning that people would have to confirm. If they hid a specific tag, it would just come up and kind of like in their guide here. Like this is just an example. Where was it? It could probably be like one of these. So just as it is now, thank you again, Pine. It's probably just one of these where you have something that will censor it entirely, or something that would block it from your view entirely, sort of, like as it is already. And if you just had that applied to one reference image that had like a lot of scars, like body, as a reference, of course, it would, you know, just apply as is. So I think it's mostly the same, but it's gonna just do it to it all. And then once they confirm, you know, it's like, hey, I'm willing to see that, then, you know, so I think that is how it is. That's my understanding of it currently. Okay. Just popping in, but the automatic CC is amazing. Oh yeah, the closed captions. Yeah. It's very helpful. It was mainly on the Twitch's end because I know those are always not working. I know they do work on YouTube sometimes, at least for videos. So we'll see. Guess it's helpful though, right? How are you though, Pine? How's it going? I'm brain processing live on stream. My brain operating. Rules they're pending. They're going through. So what Squiggle Do says, and I've got a scarred chest reference, but I don't want my OC to be completely blocked out. I think, again, as it is right now, it depends on, like, if you go to, I can show this right now, can't I? People would specify, like, it could be blocked out entirely by some people. I think we go to, like, settings, right? Was it, like, character permissions? Like this. So this is what's existing right now. And this is, like, for the base ones. And people would specify if they want to hide it, if they want it censored, or if they always want to show it. So for me, I always have a censor wording, so I can get, like, a heads up about what I'm, like, clicking into. So some people will get that. Sometimes it's going to block it for some, and, you know, that's fine. But it's some people, it won't impact as much, I don't think. That is my guess on how it works. But, you know, this is my first interpretation. All right, so we are now under upload rules. All artworks and characters posted to ArtFight must be your own or ones you have explicit permission to use with credit. You may not directly use an image you do not have the rights to use, directly copy someone else's work, trace someone else's artwork, or use someone else's illustration as a component of your art. Yes. And this includes for reference images, I believe. This is not referring to attacks, right? All artworks and characters. And you must have permission for use. Copyrighted materials such as logos, mascots, and album covers must be redrawn to be included in a character images and attacks. Meow, meow, meow. Do you plan on updating your page with the new HTML CSS push? I do. That's some part of my plan. I know, I'm going to see how the timeline goes because I still have some final prep to do before I start a marathon streaming. Marathon, 24th, May 24th, OMG. I literally just dropping in for a bit, heading out. All right, bye, Pine. Take care. I'm wishing always the goodest of vibes for you. Here's, I just linked in the description on YouTube, there's also my website. I literally have a countdown to where I'll be streaming a whole lot. A lot of it will be ArtFight stuff, OC stuff. We'll do some games as well. And, so I'll be around, and I don't know. It depends on... Would I get it done before then, or during, or after? I don't know yet, but I do plan to do that. Okay. Unaltered canon characters cannot be uploaded as characters or included in any artworks uploaded to the site. But they can be drawn as objects. Oh, like on a shirt plushie. So like your fictional character could be like a fan of an existing property, essentially. You could have like a little digital circus shirt on your OC and it'd be fine. Trash Toast says, did you hear about the guy who got hit in the head with a can of soda? He was lucky it was a soft drink. It was but a stuffed toy. Who's been seeing... Oh my gosh, who's been seeing those stuffed toys, merchandise of products? I recall this plush toy of Skittles. It was a bag, and then there was more Skittle plush toy things in there. I'm just losing my mind. Anyway, that's what I'm imagining when it comes to that soft drink. You may not include other others artworks and attacks, including leaving reference images in the corner of the final piece. So everything within attacks has to be handmade. And if you're using anything like logos, those must be redrawn yourself. And yeah, just canon characters can be featured, but only as an object for like a shirt plushie and so on. ArtFight does not tolerate the use of any AI-generated content. Everyone, to clarify, the stance, obviously, is we are anti-AI images. Quotation marks art, but images. So, of course, I'm quite happy to have this emphasized. AI platforms will you disallow include, but are not limited to, Artbreeder, Midjourney, DALL-E, Sora, ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, Claude, Copilot, Character.ai, and DreamUp. Games that utilize AI-generated content in their character creators may not be used. So, you know, I feel like the most part, for everyone who's on ArtFight, and if you're interested in ArtFight, and if you're a beginner artist on ArtFight, I think we're all fairly in alignment with that. But, I think that's an interesting note, too. Did you know that you could literally have a game as an attack? I was looking through them. I kind of want to do it. You wouldn't that be fun, like a stream where we find a bunch of ArtFight submitted games and we try playing them? I think that would be a good time. Okay. Characters uploaded to ArtFight must be substantially original and capable of being rendered in standalone in attacks. Capable of being rendered standalone in attacks. Non-characters such as dividers, additional artwork examples, wish lists, locations, outfit ideas with no character attached, advertisements cannot be uploaded. So it's like every little upload, it's a character. Characters that link to off-site character storage sites are permitted. Just great clarification, because I feel like that's a great thing to do. If anyone is like working on uploading characters currently, one thing that can be intimidating, I'm gonna say everyone can do whatever they want, but if you have like a lot of lore for a character, it's kind of a nice little thing where you like redirect, behold in their glory, but stick with those skimmable basics, at least to start. For when people are finding attacks, sometimes you just want to get the essentials, like what's their gender, what's their age, what's this all about, you know? Because they're going at it, like, Rrr. But, you know, OC lore, beautiful. It's great. It's nice when you get to find even more, especially if you have a lot more images than is permitted from ArtFight. It is a thing you can expand upon. If you have a lot of art of your OC, you can donate to ArtFight and get some additional image slots. But that's just one way to go around that. It's just, hey, there's even more here. Okay, I'm gonna have a little sip. I need to do a hit list. My bookmarks are half organized, half a mess. Yeah, I want to like relook at mine. Like I did make some last year. I want to refresh myself and see if I want to do anything different. If I'm using them, you know? So that will be a to-do list on for my own prep as well. I wish we got more bookmark folders. I think that was going to be, if depending on how their features implementation and their bandwidth goes, there would be bookmarks? Character folders, that's what it was. There would be more of those. Got more bookmark folders. Was there a limit on that? Actually, that's what you're talking about. There's a limit? I don't even know about that. Okay. Character requesting designs. Design me a character are permitted. What would that entail? Characters requesting designs. Design me a character. That's kind of cool. Okay, so that is allowed. Extremely simple characters with no defined features or personality traits cannot be uploaded. Reasonable. No simple blue circles for you. Oh, 7 folder limit for bookmarks. I didn't know about that. That's a good note. How many do I have right now? Why don't we look at that just for funsies? If I go to my bookmarks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I never hit. I have robots, transform OC, villain simple, magical robot cyber. Let's look at some magical OCs real quick. Magic OCs, magic. Look at all these OCs. Look at them. Look at them. Look, it's OCs. Oh my gosh, look at that bookmark. Object characters must be sentient to be uploaded on the site. It cannot just be a toaster. That toaster needs to be alive. It needs to have consciousness. It needs to think, therefore it is. Okay. BlazePix says, I usually make a Google Doc out of a character I'm going to attack. I want to know, question for everyone that y'all can share and read each other's response. How do you decide who to attack? And how do you plan in advance who to attack? Do you use the bookmarks? You know, all that. Do you have like a hit list submit form? Do you go completely random? Is it just a mix? Is it chaos? Go ahead and share that. I think it'd be fun. Characters cannot be rendered within the scope of our rating system. Wait. Characters that cannot be rendered within the scope of our rating system may be removed at a moderator discretion. I think these are all pretty, you know, doable. Attacks must be wholly original and must be made specifically for ArtFight during the duration of the event. Yes. Yes! They must be made specifically for ArtFight during the event. Okay. So that's like, you know, this is kind of, I know I still have to read these elaborations. I kind of thought about this where, what if I was like making a thumbnail? This is more applicable to me. I'm making a thumbnail. And technically that thumbnail features my character and someone else's character because we're both doing ArtFight. And I'm like, to some capacity, this is art. And this is for ArtFight, but not in a for ArtFight kind of way. You know? Thank you for the follow as well. I don't know, there's you have to, just like the intention setting pretty much is like, would I give this thumbnail to someone? Would I be like, here's this thumbnail I made. This is definitely a valid attack. I don't think it is. I didn't make this with them in mind. I made it with me in mind. Hello to Trey, welcome. Owl Mage says, I might join ArtFight this year. Making an account right now? Yes, 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 join, let's go. Okay. So we're going to read the elaborations for attacks must be wholly original, must be made specifically for ArtFight during the duration. I think a lot of the rules, there's like some basic rules that are like, of course, if you're like a reasonable common sense person of like, yeah, don't be mean, don't do illegals. You know, don't be not safe for work for this open site for 13+-year-olds, right? You can, there's like some logic there. And some specifications come up more like when you're just kind of like, hey, does this art qualify under this tag, for example, this filter? But some of these are just like, you know, this is like really good to know because I know, you know, there's some, we gotta know what we gotta do for attacks basically. So art from the ArtFight minigames, commissioned art, previous artwork, and other art events may not be uploaded as an attack. Planning. Oh yeah, commissioned art, previous artwork, or any other art events may not be uploaded as an attack. Planning and thumbnailing attacks before the event officially begins is permitted. Wait. Oh, wait. Planning and thumbnailing attacks before the event officially begins is permitted? Planning and thumbnailing attacks is permitted? Are you seeing this? To what extent? Maybe there's elaborations too. My understanding, I think a lot of people's understanding is don't prep in advance, don't draw in advance. But there is a limit to that. There is some flexibility. Planning and thumbnailing attacks before the event officially begins is permitted. We gotta review the rules, but everyone put that in your brain for a second. Is permitted. Yeah, thumbnailing's a story. Yeah, I think that would be like the biggest note. I do have like a storyboard note. I knew there was something specific for like people who are doing like big animation plans. But if it's like making really basic thumbnails, there's basically some flexibility here, which I personally did not know about unless this was specifically updated. It's permitted, everyone! Planning and thumbnail. We gotta keep reading, okay? But keep that in mind. Because that blows my mind. Paste it one more time. Any visual assets made before the event officially begins cannot be included in attacks, including sketches. So there is a line. There is a line between this. So think like storyboard quality and visual assets made before the event, sketches. So if you're like doing a refined sketch, there's just an in-between here is all I'm saying. The sketch and thumbnailing is separate. Sketch would probably be more accurate to what the vision is. Thumbnailing would be more applicable for, like, again, that very rough quality. I'll read that again. Any visual assets made before the event officially begins cannot be included in attacks, including sketches. So if you can qualify it as an asset, but if you're just like planning and brainstorming, I guess maybe that's the line. Like you do a doodle on your page and it's a super small, super, you know, out there. That's a lot. Okay, there's just some interpretation here is all. It's not as cut and dry as I thought it was. You may not collaborate with others when making attacks. Attacks must be made solely by you. That's reasonable, of course. This is the one that rocks my brain, though. You cannot imagine attacks. You can't imagine. Your imagination needs to stop before ArtFight. You're not allowed. Your brain needs to turn off before ArtFight and only turn on during the event. After your brain is gone, it's obliterated. Stay on the safe side. Yeah, it's there's an ambiguity I just didn't know about, but I think I know there had to have been some kind of flexibility for people who are planning big animations. So I feel like that is just, this right here is probably my biggest wow at the moment, even though it wasn't really talked about in the update or whatever. Okay, we're gonna move on, but I'm still, look at that. Screenshot that. Let your brain churn over what that means. Both of these specifically. The difference between thumbnails and sketches. Okay. What are these rules? Yeah, all is the rules. These are all the rules. These are the rules. We're looking at ArtFight rules. We're looking at the ArtFight rules. Bases, character creators, and doll makers may be used for character images, but must be credited. So this is like your references, they may not be used for attacks. This includes websites like Picrew, Hero Forge, video game character creators, and all doll makers. This includes artwork traced from posable 3D models such as Clip Studio Paint, Design Doll, and similar programs. Self-made bases and photographs you have taken. Bases, character creators, and doll makers may be used for character images, but they must be credited and not used for attacks. So, in attacks, you cannot use 3D models, self-made bases. This one I did know. 3D models, I was question mark about. And photographs you have taken. You can't use, so you can't use photographs. What about those people who do like that blur effect? They do just the attack, and then they slightly blur the background of an existing image. So I guess that would not be allowed. I know posable 3D models, especially for like Clip Studio. Not that I've used them, but I have checked out, I've been looking at this new one called like, well, my first one was like Magic Poser. And then there was Pose My Art. It was like a website. They're great for references. But I think maybe it's just like a note on specific heavy tracing of existing models. So that one I would love to know everyone's thoughts on. This rule took me like 5 minutes to understand when I first read it. I talked to Ahmad about it. You can upload canon characters as long as you have your own rendition of them. Ooh, oh, like those. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We're in an ad too for Twitch, so we're gonna take a little sip break over here. A little sip. We're gonna do a little sip. And a stretch. We're gonna do a stretch. We're gonna do a stretch. Big stretch. Big stretch. Humongous stretch. And also some more coffee for me too. For anyone who is added of an ad, I'd love to know your beverage of choice. Are you drinking something right now? Can I like casually like do like a... Can you hear that? I'm trying to like collect together 2 drinks like a toast. Okay. Whew. 17 more seconds. Sometimes I just like a solid pause, you know. I also have a snack too. My snack of choice is mandarin oranges. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. Muslu Yogurt says, I feel like the 3D model rule is kind of unnecessary. In my personal opinion, I know there is like I think this is one of those like line things too, where heavily traced stuff is obviously very unideal and when you don't have like a basis of knowledge around what you're doing. So if you're going from beginner straight to like tracing 3D models, I feel like that is more on the less, I mean, for personal practice and study, it's all good. But I feel like that kind of could be like a crutch, and it kind of shows in the art where it's like, where's the fluidity? Where's the understanding of that, right? But then I think you get to a point, and it's similar with anything that's like, you know, like stamps or anything that makes your art streamlined in some way. Which again, they can be used. All of this is like accessible tools for artists, of course. But so long as it's not like this heavy crutch of yours, but instead something that you already understand, and then you can pull, you use your resources. It's kind of like with comic creators. If you have to draw like 1 million panels for your comic, and you use something like a background, you use like, I don't know, it's like Sketchfab or just some blender, you know, to make a reference for yourself. You put in all this work to do something. There's like this specific, really difficult pose that you can either struggle to get a photograph of yourself with, or you are very intentional with your planning with that, and it's just a enhancement for what you already understand. There's like a line between that, of course. There's vagueness. It's fluid. So personally, I would say having it completely not allowed could be, I think I would agree with like, you know. And so that's what I think about that. But using bases, for example, like a reuse kind of deal, like using something for multiple attacks would be unideal. So only just like redraw it from scratch if it was like a part of a set. Because you know, one thing I saw, sometimes you do like a simple attack type. I remember last year seeing this series of attacks that a person did. It's simple, but it's like fine. You know, it's like every single person gets turned into an ice cream. An ice cream cone with ice cream scoops, and it's like, you know, it's simple, it's fine, it's repeatable, you know. But you can understand more of like a complex pose, but it's like the same pose, repeat. It's like, nah, that doesn't really sound in the spirit of ArtFight. So as an art student, this is more encouraged than you think, but heavily inspired is way different than tracing anyway. Yeah. Making use of tools. It's kind of like when there's like, I think that's one of those art discussion points that if you're getting into art or you're in art, it's one thing that always comes up no matter how much time has passed. It's like, can you use references for your art? Is that a signifier of your skill? Going no references, is that the proper way? Do you have to completely imagine it yourself? It's like, sure, it's cool, nice when you can do it, but if you can make that bridge a little easier and again heavily or like inspired, then of course that will be preferred, especially in a more consistent professional context, as you say, for like an art student where you're trying to do a lot, you know, and I just feel like, you know, when you know your stuff, then use your tools, you know? If you're learning, if you use tools as a crutch right from the beginning and you want to improve, then all you got to do is move away from it so you can, you know, expand your knowledge and then come around to it again once it's like, yeah, I don't need this, but I can use it. I think that's the main thought. Okay. So number 6, photography that you do not own or have permission to use may not be posted by itself. Do not own or do not have permission to use may not be posted by itself. Understandable. Because I guess there was like, yeah, let's read this. Photographs may be used, oh, I was asking about this earlier. Photographs may be used as backgrounds and mood boards in attacks and character images, but they may not be counted for points. Backgrounds and mood boards in attacks and character images, but may not be counted for points. I think it's just like if it's by itself, but if it's used within, it'd be like, I know if it's your first year, you're not going to be able to see this yet, but the site is going to update. There's going to be like a button that says attack, like submit attack or something, submit for an attack. There will be buttons you can choose that help clarify how much points you're going to get by how complex your work is. And there is one that is for backgrounds too. So there's one that's like, hey, that's a complex background, or that's no background. It's basically like that. You can't say like this really high detailed photo that maybe you have permission to use. That's not a complex background because it's just a photo or something. It'd be more of like a minimal kind of deal. Crediting photography is encouraged but not necessary. Mood boards cannot be posted on their own for character images or attacks. Nod, nod, nod. Fan emojis are perfectly fine. Yeah, they are. If anyone has those, I love to see them. I love to see that kind of thing. Like when people share their interests and they just find their own little tiny community within ArtFight of like, hey, you have one of those. You have one of those fan characters. You have that one from that show. So cool. So cool to see them. Photo bashing and collaging. Collaging is not permitted as like an attack or just attacks, right? Are you just not permitted in general? Collaging? That one I'm not sure about. May not be posted by itself. Is that related to attacks or just reference images? I wonder, because you can have like a mood board, right? It's not an attack, it's just something for no points. It seems like a collage though, or like a mood board could be an interesting thing to include for like a character reference though. That's like my imagining of it. It's like, here, this could potentially inspire you. I don't know about that. Where was it? So we're on B here. A photo doesn't count as a valid background at all, I thought? Yeah, I think that's what it said here. May be used, but may not be counted for points. I guess so it'd be like a very specific thing. It's like no background. So rather than like a limited one, if I said that on accident, it's just no points. So it'd be like the lowest thing you could specify on the background, basically. Characters and designs based on other media, fandoms, canon characters, and alternate universes must provide credit to their inspiration on their page. You cannot claim that you have made... Basically. It's like, this is mine. The characters in Cinderella are mine. No. Credits to Disney, oh my gosh. I'm out here thinking about, who's watched, Random Indie Show Drop, Knights of Guinevere, that pilot? Random thought, but it was on my mind. And now I just want to think about it again for a second. Brain thought floats in the air. It's gone. This rule only refers to published works and culturally influential media that have gained recognition online. So at some point you pass the threshold of small little artists who made an OC to all of a sudden you are behemoth. You are the industry. Yeah, so good. Yeah, that was like, you know, I feel like if I was to pick a show that was like, man, this aligns with my visual artistic interest and color palette in my brain. You know, the blue, the pink, the pretty cutes, but also dystopia. I was like, wow, this is amazing. What a contrast. I love it so much. Wow, that pilot. Oh my gosh. You may not make an AU out of a small creator's character unless they explicitly allow it. Okay. Designs inspired by canon characters must be visually distinct from the original. So you just have to alter them in some way. I think it's kind of like that wait, I know you guys were mentioning Pokemon earlier. It's like you make a Pokemon character, but it has to be distinguishable in some way. Make it your own in some way. I think that's like the flux. Designs inspired by canon characters must be visually distinct from the original. Was that what that conversation line was going on for the chat? If it's an anime... What was that? Was this for Jewel? ArtFight would be so sad without fandom OCs. So we need the fandom OCs. I have to go, right? Until my... Oh no! Maybe... I wonder if you could... Like, you can say credit, but where do you place the credit? Maybe it's like, maybe if you've had so many OCs, I wonder if you could put that, like, on your profile. Just say, all of these OCs belong to My Little Pony. Unless, no, wait, there's another way, wasn't there? Like, you go to, character permissions. Think about this instead. You have this character permissions thing, and it shows on all characters, right? I know there's also tags. You can use the tags. Tags are helpful if people don't want to see a specific thing. But I feel like this couldn't it be repurposed to just say, these characters belong to this, you know, you think? Profile. That's what I'm imagining. I'm like, it doesn't say... I know there's credits. Like, if you upload an image, and it's, like, definitely not yours, of course. There's, like, a little spot for credits for when you submit images in general. But I'm wondering about where you can place credits. If you had so many OCs that are from one thing. There's a toggle to do that. Okay. So, photography, mood boards, photo bashing, character designs... So no AUs of small creators' characters. Designs inspired by canon characters must be visually distinct. So we can just use that Pokemon example. It's like, you can make a Sylveon, but it needs to be a different looking Sylveon. Okay, you may not upload characters based on real life people. The only exception to this rule is characters based on yourself or your pets. So if you don't have like an OC currently, you could just jump in with yourself. Sona! Oh my gosh, a Sona. I love Sonas. I love seeing Sonas. I'm a part of the Sona fandom, actually. Yes, I'm a part of that Sona fandom. Oh, Pokemon are fine. They're a species. But they're, like, owned by, like, a big old thing, and they're recognizable, right? I'll just use an example either way, but... alternate designs, and it'll be all good. Some way, you know? Or your pets. This is another fun one too. Someone uploads a character. It's like, this is my cat. This is my bunny. Draw art of my bunny in a top hat, please. So do that if you haven't. I mean, you don't have to, but that's fun. I like seeing people's pets. Hello to a Sleepy Crow. Welcome. Okay. Characters based on real life events and cultures must be portrayed respectfully. Characters associated with or visually inspired by real-life fascist movements, hate groups, genocides, mass murders, serial killers are not prohibited. Then we got this. School shooter characters are not permitted, even if they're entirely fictional. So, you know, anything... Stretch! Stretch, everyone! Did you know that if I get a redeem, you have to do it too? At least, I encourage you. Stretches! I love the subtitle for personas as well, they're pretty cool. And then it just gets even more narrowed down. I made a video where it was like proto-gens, right? And I gotta do that, I gotta upload my proto-gen! I'm hyped about it. So, blatantly disrespectful depictions of cultures are not prohibited. Personifications of real or fictional countries are not prohibited. So just, avoid all those landmines. Don't do it. All art submitted as an attack must be clearly display All art submitted as an attack must clearly display effort and respect to the original character's designs, form, and permissions. So be respectful, apply effort. All art submitted as an attack must be recognizable as the original character. Extreme oversimplification or modification is disallowed. Blatant disrespect of the recipient's permissions is prohibited. Mass character design attacks containing character designs for 2 or more users, so that's a little definition there, must clearly indicate who each design is intended for. Mass attacks may be removed at a moderator's discretion if even one user's permissions are violated. So if one person makes a report upon that, it's like, okay, you gotta... So you gotta be mindful. So if you're doing mass attacks, you gotta be prepared in the sense that you gotta review their permissions, double check that, you know, take care into that, care into making sure things are as recognizable as you can make them. So I often think about this one. There is like this line between, for those who are doing, maybe if you're like a really beginner or you're doing really speed attacks, still just simply do your best is all to capture the character where you can look at it and be like, yes, I see that as the original character's design. And not just that, but to also abide by any rules, limitations, and whatnot that the person has specified. Yeah, and just take care with that sort of deal. You know, do your best, effort, respect, and so long as you put forth that energy and you know your intention, you know you did your best, and if someone carries that in bad faith on your end, then the best thing to do, rather than if you ever get any, it's like, hey, if you're like a beginner, it's like, hey, you did, you know, if you really did your best and maybe that person, or maybe just doesn't feel nice, then, you know, that's the whole thing of just like, you know, block the person maybe. It's fine. It's okay. You know your intention and you really did your best. And if it was taken in bad faith and you know your intention and you know you did your best, it's cool. And same with that is like, don't be scared to make a mistake as well. Don't be scared to like try to like it's like, I gotta do this perfectly, you know? As long as you review it, you understand, you go at it, you know, and you know your own goals. You know, I am trying to do fast attacks. I am doing silly attacks. And so long as there's nothing that says no silly attacks, and you're like, okay, they didn't say no silly attacks, or maybe they specifically said, hey, silly attacks. If you just did your best, and that's all you gotta do, you know, to at least be recognizable and all that. And I mostly emphasize this because I know some people can be anxious about mistakes, or it's like, hey, is my art good enough to do this? It's like, no, as a beginner, you're more than encouraged to participate. And so long as you know your intention and you feel, you know, that's my understanding of this, do your best. But also, there's flexibility, and ArtFight is silly, you know? You're always scared, yeah. I feel like it could be scary when it's like all these things to juggle, but you just take it one attack at a time, one character at a time, you know, and realize most people so long as you're being respectful and you come with good intention, you know, you can work things out in a nice way. And all of that. If there's like a misunderstanding, it's not going to go full on extreme unless the other person's really just not not coming from that respectful place too. If they're not being respectful of you from a simple misunderstanding to some degree or mistake, and you know, you can bring it up with mods, you can get someone third party involved, but if it just feels uncomfy to push that, just make a note, block a person, and know that blocking is never like a big thing. It's just curating, knowing that it's like, hey, I don't think I want to interact with this person again, and that's fine. That's within everyone's right to do. Okay. We're gonna have a little sip again. And then, yeah, so then on to the spirit of ArtFight. Whoa. ArtFight is a game that celebrates characters and giving back to fellow creators. Our goal is to create a positive environment where artists of all skill levels can participate and make art for one another. While ArtFight features a competition between two teams. I guess this was reformatted too a little bit too. Where was I? I was thinking, because we got through the rules. Now we're just on the spirit of ArtFight. Very important. Ooh, where was I? Yeah, that was basically on that same topic. Our goal is to create a positive environment where artists of all skill levels can participate and make art for one another. While ArtFight features a competition between teams, disrespect and hostility is not tolerated. And that's on both ends, you know? Be respectful, you know? Don't assume bad intention right off the bat if there's repeat behaviors and you notice those. Sometimes the most comfortable and safest thing, the best thing to do, either avoid them entirely with that blog or consult with moderators, you know? Do not sell or trade any designs you receive from others unless the creator gives you explicit permission to do so. Any designs you receive. Oh, kind of like that, like a... It's like, make me an OC or something. Designs received from ArtFight may only be sold if you have created or commissioned additional artwork outside of the event. So if you made a design for someone and they wanted to like use that to sell or trade or something, they would have to like reach out after that attack and be like, hey, can I this or that, you know? This in advance. Well, the second step. It's not fully yours. It's not fully yours. They may only be sold if for the value of the additional artwork. So it doesn't include that gift art. It's just for the additional commissioned artwork, okay? Creating a character to gain art with the intention of selling it is prohibited. Nod, nod. Thank you so much for reading the new rules, save me from a migraine. I mean, I feel it's like sometimes you open up a page and it's like, oh, review the rules. I should probably do that. I don't want to, you know, get thunderbolted from the sky. It helps with the processing. It helps me with the processing. Do not use art received or made during ArtFight for profit. Wait, did I just read this? No, that was up here. Art received or made during ArtFight for profit. This includes not limited to character sales, trades, and auctions. So, you know, don't use people's art for monies. You may only ask the recipients of the physical attacks to cover the cost of shipping, but not labor or materials. To cover the cost of shipping, okay. Yeah, okay, so if you were like, I made this artwork, and I made this painting for you, and I can get this to you. The only thing is you'd have to cover for the cost of shipping, but you can't charge for like everything you spent to make that piece a reality. As typical like bot artworks would go, or anything like that. You may only use art if you have made you may only use art you have made for ArtFight as art examples when advertising commissions for art or art trades with the recipient's permission. You may use art you have made for ArtFight as art examples when advertising commissions. As example, that makes sense. Or art trades with the recipient's permission. As examples. But you're just not literally trading the artwork as itself, as it's specified up here. I think that's all it means. You know. Okay. I read the new rules today, and also you're so much more clear. I also, again, just like formatting nice things. I do recall how it used to look, and I'm like, damn. You had to go get in your magnifying glass to review the fine print. Okay. So selling, profit. Here's the next one. Do not beg, manipulate, or harass others to interact with you. No user is obligated to attack back, follow back, leave comments, or otherwise interact. So I'll mention some comments with this one. One thing, this is probably like one of those like surprisingly big ones, namely with like an influx of new people who have discovered ArtFight, right? Or like what happens is there's this understanding of what ArtFight is and what it's for. And I think some of that kind of builds up to an expectation rather than like a more of like a respectful, you know, two-way kind of deal of like, there's an etiquette, there is what's encouraged, but that is different from an expectation of this will happen. You will get this. This is it. If you don't get it, it's all bad. It's ruined. Your time was ruined. And I know I talked about that literally just in the video I uploaded today, and some other ones too. It's just temper your expectations. If it's your first year, yes, all the things of art are true. It's your giving art. You know, there's a wholesome community here. It's very, very wholesome. There's, you know, you can be excited for the comments and thoughts of what people will say for your art, or what, you know, response you'll get from your comments, for example. But it's just basically, yes, it's encouraged to do. Well, not even like this. You know, there's never an expectation, never to attack back. None of that. That's completely on them. But like, same for like replying or commenting or something. That's more of like a nice thing to do. But it shouldn't ever be like, you must do this or everything's ruined. You know, people have their lives. They have how they are, and it's not, you know, it's not a bad reflection upon them. You know, you just carry forth. If something didn't go the way you expected it, just keep on putting that positive energy out there, because that's what makes like the community so wholesome, is when there's none of that expectation, essentially. And same, you don't want people feeling like, oh man, I have to do this. Don't like guilt people, you know, none of that. It's like, I made 10 attacks for you. And this is a hypothetical, but it's that whole sentiment. No one owes you anything, essentially. But it's nice to put positive energy when you mean it, you know? And that's just, you know, being decent. Okay. Point farming is prohibited. Attacks must be accurately rated according to our rating guide. Making large amounts of small, simple, or quick attacks is not considered point farming, as long as the characters are recognizable. So that's that line of, again, if you're doing speedy attacks, just keep them recognizable, you know, be respectful, abide by the person's permissions. But these like simple, small, quick attacks are a thing that's allowed. And it's cool. We do not moderate the use of the polished rating, is what they specify. Which, you know, checks out. If you put in extra effort, and that can vary, you know, depending on your abilities. It's like, I did. Who's to judge for that, you know? Which is understandable. Why? It's like, they don't do... No, they could have tried, you know? They put in that extra... They put in their heart. You can't say what isn't polished, so it's not really on them to moderate, which is understandable. It's just do your best of assessing that yourself. Next is be kind to all users and staff, including yourself. Do not mock anyone's artwork or characters. This includes insulting art styles and species. So be a sane, reasonable, kind, wholesome person. Well, you don't got any. It was more of like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, right? One of those. Being aggressive and combative is not acceptable. This includes keeping track of point totals or team membership for the purpose of shaming users. So, you know, it's like, assuming it's like, I'm better in some way because of something, right? None of that. Everyone is on this equal playing field of everyone should be respectful to each other. No one is above another to any degree for any reason, you know? We're equals. So don't keep track of points total team membership for the purpose of shaming users. You know, none of that. And we are in an ad. We're gonna have another little pause real quick. And a sip, and a sip, and a sip. Having another one. And snacks too. It's always good to snack along. Especially when I stream daytime streams. You kind of hit like the lunchtime. I mean, it's only 3. I mean, it's 3. I did eat before stream. You know, yeah, you're extending energy and you're like, I must snack. There will be plenty of that during July. During when I stream a bunch, there will be snacking. Big yum. Yum, mungo, yum. I'll read some more comments too shortly. Stretch. 17 more seconds! Oh my gosh! Okay, I can do some dance moves. Wait, before the ads end for Twitch, at least. I can be like this. Welcome back, everyone! Welcome back, everyone! Oh, Trinity Rain said, hi, I'm new to this channel, welcome. I did some pausing because there was some ads playing, but hello. Cole and Cinder says, had a bit of a bad day, hope you're doing well. For me, I am doing well. I was a little bit sleepy at the start of the stream, but after some coffee and some snacking and all the good vibes, I'm hyped up, I'm ready. Okay. Where were we? I forgot. I guess it was on this next one. Yeah, everyone, if you ever want to, on my channel in general, on my streams, this is always going to be a pro ArtFight space to talk about. That's always going to be relevant. It's cool. And if you want to share your usernames, just usernames, no links. You'll always be welcome to put that into the air. Find each other. It's all good with me. I love you when you guys find each other. It's great. Okay. Users may link to or advertise general art sales on their profiles. Commission sales must not include 18+ content. Users may not advertise anywhere outside of their own profiles. This includes comments, character uploads, and attack descriptions. So don't go commenting like, hey, I have these commissions here on people's pages, on their characters. I could draw your character if you just pay me money to. None of that. Just on your profile page, you're welcome to advertise, essentially, for commissions and art sales, so probably even products related to art. Art sales may not be used as attacks or bargaining chips, such as attack for payment or payment for attack. So, not a barter chip, essentially. Okay. Reasonable. I'm going to read that again for myself. Taxes or a as a tax? What that even mean? Tack for payment or payment for attack. Oh, it's like, hey, if you could pay me and I'll attack you. Nah. No. All attacks must be created for another user. Users may include their own OCs within others' attacks if the recipient allows it. So if there wasn't any, note on it, it's probably fine, you know? It's like, hey, I want to draw my OC interacting with yours. If there was no rule against that from that individual person, then it's like, hey, let's do this! Works that encourage attackers to draw solely for themselves. Design yourself a character are not allowed. that encourage attackers to draw solely for themselves. Oh, design yourself a character? It's like, no, design me a character. I want you to design me a character. Okay. And by creating a design for another user, you agree to transfer the design to the recipient. So it was just that they can use it now. It's theirs aside, except when it comes to selling or trading, in which case you'll need to commission a second piece from that creator. So if you're trying to sell or trade again, but otherwise that design is yours to use, just when money gets involved, that's where that kind of comes in from a previous rule up there. Oh, and Maria says, I've been starting on commission recently, so being able to pro myself. Yeah, this is a pro artist space. So you drop your VJ, well, not in this chat, but on your profile. It's like, yeah, get your VJ, get your regular website, get your wherever you put your services. Where else do you do it at? Where do you keep your commissions? Who does commissions? Who is interested in commissions? 1 second. I need to mute for 1 second. Okay, mute complete. Got myself a card. Yeah. Everyone, I've done it. How many words did I read? Officially reviewed. Let's second go. Where's the HTML part? I mean, I'll drop this link again. I pinned it already on Twitch. But if you had some feedback for that tagging system, I'd love to know. I would love to know if anyone had any thoughts. I think it was mostly positive in terms of like the formatting, a little easier to read, things were clarified. Excuse me. One more mute for me. Oh my gosh. It just be like that. To have overall info. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so if you just came into stream recently, I wanted to point out one thing that really wowed me that I will point out again because I feel like it had a fundamental shift in my understanding of things. Let me find it. We were already freaking, if you've been here for a bit, of course, I just had to draw emphasis to this one thing one more time. It was similar with tax. Okay. For anyone who rolled in, I have to go back here. So this is for rule number 4. Attacks must be wholly original and must be made specifically for ArtFight during the duration of the event. And then there was these B and C section for that, which said, planning and thumbnailing attacks before the event officially begins is permitted. And then there was this other one, for any visual assets made before the event officially begins cannot be included in attacks, including sketches. So, I don't know. I want to put that into the win. What is everyone's thoughts? I know we talked about this before, but I don't know. I just feel so ground shifted beneath. Lori says, I'm cursed with commissions. Half my clients are into weird things. Oh, that's I recall that. That kind of thing. That's so confusing. I promise it won't be weird. Oh, it's one of those. Yeah. Wacky. We got an ArtFight too for I Get to Fox. Sending your tutorial, so you got that. Any thoughts, people? I don't understand. Yeah. I feel like, hey, who's on the... I'm sure a lot of you. I feel like this would be a good one to comment around. Well, offer feedback for, maybe on the Discord server, potentially. That might be helpful for, at least for them to update and clarify, maybe. Unless this is as clear as it'll get, but... I was just so intrigued. It was like planning thumbnailing attacks before the event officially begins is permitted. So it must be, again, this really rough, tiny little note of a of a thing, right? And sketches, however, so something between thumbnails and sketches. There's a line, and I was just, whoa. Isn't a thumbnail also a sketch, or am I just dumb? I feel like, what is an art thumbnail? Can I also just say, like, versus a sketch? What's the difference between a sketch? A thumbnail sketch? Planning? A thumbnail sketch is a very quick sketch in a smaller thumbnail size that helps the artist plan and visualize their final artwork. So by thumbnail, maybe it was just literals of, like, it's just this tiny, you give a thumbs up, you know? It's just this tiny little thing that's very quick. So ultra quick. There is no detail. There's not a lot of time spent on it. It is rapid speed of, this is the general, a very tiny little thing, a little thumbnail. It's not like some big, not high canvas thumbnail. It's not like a thumbnail like YouTube, where I know I use higher resolution. It's like literally your thumb, not like, maybe not like literally, but it's just tiny. It's this tiny little thing. And you just vibe it. You just quick. Maybe it's like that. And that's all what it's all about. You just have like a bunch of those. You can plan your attacks, which is, so you can plan who you're going to attack. You can make a little really tiny, quick, ultra quick, and that's fine. You just can't spend a lot of time on it. It has to be bigger, I think. Like, a sketch, even though it implies simplicity, it's still more time consuming to really get it nailed down than it is to do this really quick doodle, I guess. Making a reference for yourself. I wonder if that could be one too. That would be, hey, that is not, I think that could be a part of it. You could gather references. I think that would be allowed. If you gather your references that you'll maybe plan to use too, you could do that. Because that's not sketching. It's just a sketch that's not allowed, but you can plan for your attacks. You can plan, you could do an ultra small, quick sketch. And I think preparing that kind of thing is fine. It's just no asset. Any visual assets made, so something you've made. Yeah. So it's like one of those like timed super ultra quick. So that's probably what it is. So your prep, this is like a big thing of like, if you were really trying to prepare, and I know that's normally one thing that's like a ultra no-no, but with this understanding, it's like, no, you could think about it a little more than just going 100% blind. You don't have, which is news to me. This was news to me. You don't have to go 100% blind. You don't just have your, maybe like bookmarked characters who you want to attack. You can have a general idea of what you want to do if you want to do that. The planning part, that's fine. It's just that visually made, handmade assets, you know, that are going into the attack. But I think gathering your tools, like your references, what you're going to do, your materials, all of that, that's not the actual attack. Not even like the sketch. That's fine. Yeah, so that is new pro tip unlocked, everyone. You can start with those two of every single attack if you wanted to. If any characters you wanted to work on and you're like, I have a kind of rough idea, and then you can have attached like a, you know, just make a mood board or like references maybe. A really rough idea, ultra rough, quick thumbnail, tiny little sketch. Like, I use that lightly. Just the idea is allowed. You can think about it prior. Just call them doodles. Yeah. Hey, wait, hey, who remembers those, here's a funny thing. Who remembers, like, artist who's like, I just made a sketch. I do this too, by the way, but sometimes it happens. You say, I just made this doodle. I just made this sketch here. And then it's like this really pretty, detailed artwork. And you're like, what? That's a sketch? What do you mean? To them, it's a sketch. So I kind of feel like the nuance is helpful because us artists can call a lot of things a sketch if it feels like low effort, quotation marks in some way, or like it was so speedy, or if it just said funny, was like the tongue-in-cheek kind of thing. So I feel like even if it was like, oh yeah, sketches, there's still a vagueness when it comes to artists, which is why this can be confusing, because, oh yeah, this was a sketch. Yeah, let's go preview. I'm just gonna do a little quick skim of this. So ArtFight had that HTML guideline. This was it. This guide is intended for developers who create complex, customizable themes for ArtFight or other websites like Toy House. If you intend on only using the built-in features of the new editor, this guide may not be useful. Okay, so there's basically some achievable, complex things you can do. And I think what's interesting in theory about this is, since this is just HTML, is this something everyone has access to now? Theoretically, just some more variability to make your profile cooler, quotation marks, you know, without having to do like the CSS, which there already was like styling things you could do, you know, formatting ways, but it's like, you know, this is for everyone, technically, you know, you just process it into your brains. No mention of this, but I think that's from last year. No mention of this, but I think it's from last year. What was from last year? So HTML elements, see, there's a lot to be used. I've got a list of those. CSS properties that you can call out. I think that is still going to be applicable to premium, because it was only premium that was just like $25 USD that could use these, and you would call out these specific terms, which we could use an example of my profile. We go to my settings, and I think it'd be profile. Where did I put it? Yeah, so you just have like these little things that you call out. We got the little hashtag ones. I mean, I'm blocking it right now. This is just kind of how visually it shows up for anyone like completely unfamiliar with it. There we go. This is kind of how it looks, you know. I called out the panel. I called out the button primary, the nav bar. Changed the color of that. Card body, table card. So it just basically lists the things you can call out. And when you call it out, basically it's like, oh, change the color to black. Change it to red, you know. Things like that. And classes. Ooh, what's this? Not whitelisted. To be whitelisted, okay. Alright, current sanitation system. Each CSS property is parsed individually with its own rules to ensure that value complies with the restrictions to said property. This means we need to set up a new custom set of rules for each property that's added to the whitelist, which can add to some significant development overhead. It's wacky. So, oh, I understand this. I understand this. It's like only these are allowed, but there's like other things that are theoretically you're able to call out too for like CSS. And it's like, okay, just request. And that was pretty much it. I feel like we did it. I think we did it. I feel like we did it, guys. Objective achieved. As soon in the server, yeah. Again, we can go to, if anyone's curious about that kind of thing, well, there's the CSS help for if you were a supporter, you get access to additional channels on Discord. And this will give you access to edit profile CSS and character CSS. I'm wondering if I go on to, so if we're going to like say, hypothetically do HTML, all jokes for a second, my ArtFight is being jumped now. Oh, they spooked you. We go profile. Profile CSS. And then what's this? Rich, more text, more paragraph. I guess it'd be here. Mentions, we got those. Paragraphs. Code snippet. Oh, here it is. More so there's this thing for code snippet. And, oh, interesting. So this must be the new thing. So insert code snippet. And this is where you would copy, well, if you were pulling from Toy House and you already did something or you're already using a template, you would copy and paste it into this section, meaning there's kind of 2 spots you can access the CSS to now, which is interesting. So it's under profile, code snippet, HTML, and then there was that guide here for the things you can call out. Sub, heading, style, strong, image. So if you're putting an image in, you could just, instead of just with the editor itself, which I think the editor is still functional, I think what it means is like, you could insert an image manually, kind of like this, but you can also use HTML to add an image, for example. And you can do special things to style it just through the code, just through the HTML. So I think that would be like an example usage, and how some things you can do, you can still do just with the editor, which is like this thing with all of its little buttons here. Like you can insert a table this way, but it's just also possible to do it through this. So there's like some overlap. It's like the same functionality. And the only thing it's you can't do is just, until you get like the premium, is that CSS stuff, which is going to be the colors, the background stuff, you know, all of that. It's very interesting. Okay. Mice are so annoying. I wish I could make everything scrollable. So weird and specific. Yeah, it's an interesting process. Like when you're working with anything of the code for ArtFight, it's a kind of a, like if you're just coding for like just a website on its own, it's a lot more flexible. But this one you have to work within specific limitations for what words they use, you know, for the classes and all that properties. So it can be a little bit of a thing to navigate around, but you know, there's that Discord again. If you're using CSS, at least I know people will probably get help too for the HTML part, which will be more relevant if you're trying to do things that are outside the basics, like just inserting an image or whatever. I don't know if anyone else has problems, but I tried inserting image earlier. I can't control where it goes anymore. Yeah, this will take some dabbling. That's kind of what it goes. So if anyone is, you've never encountered coding, basic web coding, all that, right? It's just a matter of asking a question. You start somewhere. How can I do this? You see an example of what a person's done, which, you know, we could just open up my page again. It's like, how did they do this? And then you ask the question. Maybe you go to a specific place, like, again, Discord. You learn things, the basic fundamentals of, you know, CSS, HTML that apply to your question, and you can do it that way. You could do like a broad over. At some point, you know, once you learn the basics, the real basics, you kind of have an idea. The rest of it, when it comes to coding, it's just what you want to do. Ask a question, then you search it up, and you just keep on doing that. And it can be intimidating, scary. No one knows what they're doing at first, you know, but it's approachable. It's just that whole process of you just start somewhere, and you don't gotta like study a whole course. You're not like, I have to do this crash course on all of HTML and CSS to become a professional developer. It's not that. It's, you know, you just trial and error it, patch it all together. If it works, it works. That's good enough for a hobby, silly little ArtFight thing, you know? Grab a little sip. And, yeah, honestly, I think I feel pretty good with today. We're gonna go over here. Human. Stream is going to be ending now. I feel like I've accomplished what I set out to do, and that was look through the rules, look through the update, read all of it so you can get some brain processing. I had some insights, some things that blew my mind, which, again, if there was one, I mean, there's a lot of things to take away, I guess. But I just think of it more from the center of like ArtFight prep. I mean, if you're doing profile decorations, then obviously you know where to look for researching how to make use of the tools handed to us, of course. But the other one was just the prep of not just gathering characters for your profile, well, gathering characters to potentially attack during July, because I know that's a part of the prep sometimes. There's also just everything that goes into it. There's the materials and resources, and thumbnailing versus sketches. Thumbnailing is okay. Really quick, basic thumbnailing concepts. Planning is okay. Which blows my mind, but I think that's such a thing that no one talks about, because I think we all, me included, just go straight to that whole no sketching at all. But if it's super ultra basic planning, you know, that's fine. And I'm like, whoa, you could gather references you plan on using for that really basic thumbnail. You could have ideas leading into July, since this is early and anyone who's like listening to this is probably on that early prep journey too, if you're interested. So that's a part of it. And the other thing is tagging. Just tags. Use them, you know. And I guess there's people can request tags as well. There was that whole sentiment of like do not interacts, which was allowed but not moderated. And overall, if the vibe is just off, and you're like, what the heck's that all about? Just block the person if they don't pass your vibe check, and that's within everyone's right to do when it comes to that. And then again, that curious thing of not tracing 3D poses and stuff like that. It's just that whole line of inspiration using a tool versus solely using it as a crutch. Well, that was my understanding. That's one I would love to see clarified more, maybe. Because I know it can be a helpful tool, but if it's like completely not allowed, it's cool. It's just there's a lot, you know, like hard tracing, not understanding what you're, you know, especially as a beginner, versus you know what's going on, it's just a helpful thing. Using it as like a more of a reference kind of deal, you know. So that one's I'm more of curious about, so maybe we'll see something change there. But yeah, everyone, I'm heading off now. I'm streaming a bunch May 24th and onward for a marathon. So I'm kind of doing some prepping for that stretch of time, and I'll be again streaming most of July too. So we're going to watch the reveal together. If this is your first time encountering me, I will be streaming the theme reveal when it comes around. Anything ArtFight, I will be there, essentially. It's in my brain. But yeah, bye everyone. Take care.